Thank you for watching us on YouTube. But did you know that if you're on the go, you can get the full show as a podcast now? You can get our morning breakdown of the most important topics facing our country, news not being covered by the mainstream media, interviews with change-making progressives, and info on what you can actually do about all this. Search for The Damage Report on your favorite podcast app and subscribe so you know when new episodes are ready to go. I know what all of you at home are thinking. You've updated us on all these accusations, and I consider that to be the main reason for doing the show today. I want you to be armed in terms of information about the state of this investigation as it goes forward. But what does Donald Trump think about this? Will he turn on his nominee now that we know all of this new stuff, including the possibilities of being involved in gang rapes? Well, Donald Trump had said this is since some of the developments came out. I'm not sure if this is pre-Michael Avenatti. But he said of Brett Kavanaugh, he's a fine man with an unblemished past. And these are highly unsubstantiated claims by people represented by lawyers. You should look into the lawyers doing the representation. Judge Kavanaugh is an outstanding person, and I am with him all the way. We have more to get to. But first of all, it's not an unblemished past. It's got some rapey blemishes on it now. And highly unsubstantiated, no, there's contemporaneous confirmation from other people. And he says that you shouldn't trust these people because they're represented by lawyers. What does that even mean? Trump has tons of lawyers. I mean, they change all the time, but he has some. Yeah. Kavanaugh has lawyers.
But it goes back to the calendar, just stuff that doesn't matter. People who want to support them will just take anything. Doesn't matter.
Well, let's see what else he has. I think it could be, there's a chance that this could be one of the single most unjust, unfair things to happen to a candidate for anything. But I'm with Judge Kavanaugh and I look forward to a vote. And for people to come out of the woodwork 36 years ago, 30 years ago, and never mention it, all of a sudden it happens, in my opinion, it's political. It's totally political. Many of these people did mention it at various points during their life. And so, I mean, this is not surprising that Donald Trump is gonna stick with him. But I do mention it because, again, whenever he does this, I really do feel for the people who have been through sexual assault to see the most powerful person in the world spitting in your face over and over and saying that it doesn't matter how bad it gets, we will always side with the aggressor in these situations. That is just disgusting.
Just constantly essentially saying it doesn't matter. What you're saying doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We should be creating this space where women do come forward with their stories, and then also creating the space where men stop doing this.
Yeah.
But it's just continuing the same old, same old. Women are scared and ashamed, and men are repeat offenders.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of the words in defense of him make it more likely to happen. Like, it might be that there were some people back in 1982 that thought it was acceptable to do some of this stuff. They were wrong then, but they thought it. We should be moving past that. To continue to say that this shouldn't disqualify you from any position implies that it should continue because it's not that bad.
Right.
It was that bad. It's certainly right to say that it's bad now. Should not be something that the country should be split on.
We're not saying throw this man in prison. That's not what we're talking about. I think the problem is just that when a woman comes out with this story, don't vilify her. You have to listen. And these people in power should want to listen.
Yeah.
And it's upsetting that they don't.
Exactly.
Just hear it out and then decide.
Okay, so through the course of this show, you've been thinking, when are they gonna get to Kavanaugh? Okay, fine, we'll talk about it. So some of the, I guess, defenses of Brett Kavanaugh by way of attacking Christine Blasey Ford. Some of these quotes are amazing. I just wanna cover a few. Representative Steve King weighed in saying, I'm thinking, is there any man in this room that wouldn't be subjected to such an allegation, a false allegation? How could you just disprove something like that? Which means if that's the new standard, no man will ever qualify for the Supreme Court again. That seems to be exaggerated. I think, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm naive, or maybe I'm biased because I'm a man. I think there are some men who haven't raped people, I think. Here's the thing, here's a crazy radical idea. Get pissed off about this, right wingers? You know what? What if he's right? What if every man would be accused? What if we had a period where we didn't even take any chances? We just nominated women for 3 decades or so. We did it with men for hundreds of years. Maybe we can afford to balance the scales a little bit. Would it really be that bad? The right wingers would say, why can't you just have men? Shouldn't it all be based on their qualifications? Okay, we'll get qualified women. If gender doesn't matter, just have the women. Then don't have to worry about any of the sexual harassment stuff.
It's just the things in this country just have to change. This dumb argument that, oh, now men should be afraid. Women have been afraid, first of all. Let's start there.
We should all be afraid.
Right, like why can't it be like, you know, we've got to find good men. We've got to find men who wouldn't do this because I wouldn't do this. I'm not a man, but I'm saying like if I were, like I wouldn't do this. And so you would think that you would be embarrassed to defend something like this. But instead, so many people are not.
Here's a great graphic example of how not embarrassed they are. And MSNBC had this wonderful screenshot. If we can bring this up, you'll see others saying, Senator Lindsey Graham, I'll listen to the lady, but we're going to bring this to a close. Oh, that's some nice sexual assaulty language for you. Also, she's the lady. Bob Corker, who'd previously sounded like he might be questioning Kavanaugh. I mean, I can't imagine the horror of being accused of something like this. Imagine if you were accused of something like that while a guy had his hand over your mouth. That's even worse. Orrin Hatch, I think this woman, whoever she is mixed up. What do you mean, whoever she is?
Right, but what's fascinating about that, Orrin Hatch, I think that could also be an exact quote of what he said about Anita Hill.
We should go back. He might have said the same thing.
Or just that is something that was absolutely said about her. She's mistaken, she's mixed up, she's confused. That's fascinating.
Yeah, also, again, they're not using her name, which is interesting. Senator Dean Heller, we got a little hiccup here with the Kavanaugh nomination. We'll get through this and we'll get off to the races. Oh, was there a bit of resistance to what you were trying to do and you're just gonna push through anyway? Well, you sure seem to be on Team Kavanaugh.
Right.
Anyway, obviously horrible framing thematically in terms of how they're talking about this. They all seem to never want to say her actual name. Well, it just became a little bit more complicated, guys. You're gonna have to remember multiple women's names not to say in the near future. Okay, any more on Kavanaugh?
This is not ruining his life. This is a job interview. This is absolutely not ruining his life. And you can do both. You cannot jump to, but that's the thing. You are jumping to conclusions. If you immediately say, like, what she's saying doesn't matter, can't be true, she's mixed up. That is jumping to conclusions. And I think it's fascinating that people aren't understanding that. You don't have to, you shouldn't jump to conclusions, but you are jumping to conclusions. That's a conclusion. She's mixed up.
The partisan frame that they're looking at this through, or the lens that they're looking at this through is it's so stable that they don't even, like there's no second guessing whatsoever.
Right.
Like I was saying, I'm not even gonna say the guy's name because I don't care. He's a right winger who's got a online show or a TV show, or God only knows what's going on right now, but he's reputable, he gets on Fox News and stuff. He had a segment where he called Christine Blasey Ford a lying whore. This is before all the new stuff came out, but he was so sure that obviously the guy I like did do this, that she is a lying whore. And that guy probably makes $100,000. He'll be back on Fox News, probably got a book deal or something. Thank you very much for watching this clip from The Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.